Teams that win the World Cup are teams that have the perfect balance of players. Very rarely has an undeserved team ended up winning the World Cup because, let's admit it, you can't cheat the game. However, the person that makes this set of players tick is the coach. Their tactics, strategies, and planning set them apart from other teams. Welcome to Futbol 1-on-1, where we'll be taking a look at all the previous World Cup winning coaches that have coached teams to glory. Alberto Suppici, Uruguay, 1930. Alberto Suppici won the first ever World Cup in 1930 with Uruguay on the country's home soil. Nicknamed El Professor, his contribution to football is much more than we know. But the World Cup triumph tops the list. He is also the youngest coach to win this trophy, aged only 31. Before the World Cup win, Suppici coached this team to third in the 1929 South American Championship, which was the predecessor of our modern Copa America trophy. In the World Cup final, Uruguay won against Argentina in a comeback masterminded by Suppici in front of 93,000 people. Vittorio Pozzo, Italy, 1934-1938. One of the most excellent tactical minds football has ever seen, Pozzo was the creator of Metodo. In this tactical formation, players orient themselves according to the position of their teammates on the pitch. He is the only coach who has guided a country to back-to-back World Cup wins. The Metodo formation had two fullbacks on each wing, with two center-backs being shielded by a defensive midfielder. Today, most of the top teams in the world play with these five players in a similar style as Pozzo did. Juan Lopez Fontana, Uruguay, 1950. 1950 was the second time the nation of Uruguay lifted football's biggest prize under Juan Lopez Fontana. He started coaching as a medical assistant at a local Central Futbol club managed by former World Cup winning coach Alberto Suppici. Suppici was Fontana's mentor because he was the one who taught him all the fundamentals of the game. His World Cup victory was glorious because Uruguay had come back from a goal down to win 2-1 against Brazil. This World Cup triumph of theirs has been referred to as Maracanazo. Sepp Herberger, West Germany, 1954. The final brought Germany its first World Cup in 1954 and has been dubbed the Miracle of Bern. He was also a German national football team player between 1921 and 1925 before becoming an assistant coach to Otto Ners in 1932. Hungary was the favorite to win the World Cup in 1954 because it fielded its golden team. They hadn't lost a match in 4 years and were the reigning Olympic champion. The final began with Hungary scoring an early goal, and then another one in quick succession. Germany replied with 2 goals of their own within 10 minutes and then scored with 6 minutes left to see up the match 3-2. Vicente Fiola, Brazil, 1958. Fiola gave the nation of Brazilian 2 of the country's greatest gifts in football. The country's first World Cup was in the year 1958, and in this World Cup, he selected a youngster named Pelé. The rest, as they say, is history. The team won the World Cup in Sweden and is still the only non-European country in the world to win it on European soil. Apart from this World Cup victory, Fiola has coached Sao Paulo, where the club won the 1948 and 1949 Campeonato Paulista. Amory Moreira, Brazil, 1962. A former player in the Brazilian national team who turned from a winger to a goalkeeper, Moreira became a successful coach after his playing career ended. He coached Brazil to a 1962 World Cup victory, which made Brazil the first and still the only nation to win successive World Cups. Brazil defeated Czechoslovakia 3-1 in the final with goals from Amarildo, Zito, and Vava, completing a historic comeback for the Selecao. Alf Ramsey, England, 1966. Manager for 11 years from 1963 to 1974. Alf Ramsey led England to its only World Cup win in 1966. As a player, he was a defender and was part of England's World Cup squad in 1950. As a player, he was nicknamed the General and made 32 appearances for England. He introduced a narrow England formation for the World Cup winning side, which dubbed this team the Wingless Wonders due to the absence of wingers. His tactics led to England defeating West Germany 4-2 in the final. Mario Zagallo, Brazil, 1970. Zagallo holds the record for winning the most World Cup titles overall. He was the first person to win the World Cup as a player, 1958 and 1962, and as a coach, 1970. The other two who later achieved this feat were Germany's Franz Beckenbauer and France's Didier Deschamps. While coaching the Brazilian national team, he was also coaching Botafogo. His players were nicknamed the Professor due to his sharp tactical awareness and commanding presence on the bench. In 1992, he received the FIFA Order of Merit, the highest honor FIFA awarded for his footballing contributions. Zagallo was named the 9th greatest manager of all time by World Soccer Magazine in 2013. Helmut Schön, West Germany, 1974. Schön's coaching of the West German national team was a game-changer for them. He brought the nation their second World Cup victory in 1974 after they were defeated in 1966 by England in the final. Some of the best movies Schön made while coaching Germany made Sepp Maier his first-choice goalkeeper, which many football analysts never understood at the time. He also made Franz Beckenbauer his team's captain, allowing him the freedom to play the role of a sweeper. Schön holds 2 World Cup records for coaching the most matches and having the most wins. He was also the first coach to win a World Cup and European Championship. The latter of the two was won in 1976. Cesar Luis Menotti, Argentina, 1978. After being mesmerized by watching Pelé play in the 1970 World Cup, Menotti decided to become a coach himself. He started off his coaching career by becoming an assistant of Juarez in Newell's Old Boys. After he progressed in his managerial career, the peak of it arrived in 1974 when he was made head coach of the Argentine national team. After defeating the Netherlands in 1978, Argentina was only the 3rd South American team after Brazil and Uruguay to win the World Cup, a stat that still hasn't been added to even today. Enzo Bearzot, Italy, 1982. Nicknamed Vecchio, which stands for Old Man, Bearzot coached the national side of Italy to their 3rd World Cup win. He became head coach of Italy in 1975, and in the 1978 World Cup, he coached the team to a 4th-place finish. At the 1982 World Cup, he announced a press silence for all media outlets in Italy after Italy's lackluster start to the tournament. After this, his team finally began to play its best football and beat world heavyweights Argentina, Brazil, Poland, and eventually Germany in the final. A year after his death, an award was named in honor of the 1982 World Cup winning coach, the Enzo Bearzot Award for the best Italian coach of the year. Carlos Bilardo, Argentina, 1986. Although he won the World Cup with Argentina, Bilardo was famous even before that when he gained worldwide fame as a player with Estudiantes. He employed the 3-5-2 formation, which brought Argentina World Cup glory for the 2nd time in their history. Bilardo is massively credited for the rise of Diego Maradona, who became one of the greatest footballers of all time during this era. Argentina defeated West Germany 3-2 in the final. Bilardo has also been awarded the South American Coach of the Year back-to-back years, 1986, 1987. Franz Beckenbauer, Germany, 1990. Known as Der Kaiser or the Emperor, Beckenbauer's contribution to German football is unparalleled. Playing multiple positions on the field, he was best known for his time as a libero, which in modern football is known as a sweeper, one of the greatest footballers in the game's history. He also won the Ballon d'Or twice in 1972 and 1976. In 1990, the World Cup won by West Germany was the last one before the country's reunification with East Germany. West Germany defeated Argentina 1-0, making Beckenbauer the 2nd man to win the trophy as a player and coach. Carlos Alberto Pereira, Brazil, 1994. Apart from winning the World Cup in 1994, Pereira brought Brazil international glory in other tournaments as well, where the team won the 2004 Copa America and 2005 Confederations Cup. He is one of the most successful coaches of all time, without being a player himself. But coming from the man himself, he regards his 2 league wins with Fluminense as his career's most significant achievement, because it was his beloved club, and that club was facing near bankruptcy as well as extinction. Aimé Jacquet, France, 1998. Jacquet started his coaching career managing several teams in France and led Bordeaux to 3 Ligue 1 titles, 2 French Cups, and 2 European semifinals. All this was enough to score him the French national team's job. Jacquet is credited with starting the legendary footballing career of Zinedine Zidane, whom he picked for the 1998 squad, along with other young stars such as Jean-Pierre Papin and David Ginola. With a lot of controversy following Euro '96, all of Jacquet's critics turned into his fans after France's exceptional performance and eventual triumph in the 1998 World Cup. Luis Felipe Scolari, Brazil, 2002. Scolari was appointed manager of Brazil in 2001 and was in threat of not qualifying for the tournament in 2002. Despite losing their first qualification game, Brazil eventually went through. In the World Cup finals, Romario was left out by Scolari despite the players' tearful appeal. Brazil entered the tournament and got wins over the likes of Belgium and England. They faced Germany in the final, and Ronaldo scored twice to give Brazil a 2-0 victory and their 5th World Cup trophy. Marcello Lippi, Italy, 2006. After Italy's disappointing UEFA Euro 2004 campaign, Lippi was appointed to lead the team in the 2006 World Cup. Lippi's tactic of rotating players in his squad was considered a great move, allowing him to adopt several tactics with his experienced players. Italy's triumph in the World Cup was stated by Lippi as the most satisfying moment as a coach, even after he had won the UEFA Champions League and Intercontinental Cup with Juventus. Vicente Del Bosque, Spain, 2010. Del Bosque replaced Luis Aragonés as the national head coach of Spain in 2008, and this point marked the starting of the most successful phase in Spanish football, where Spain won 2 Euros on either side of a World Cup win in 2010. Apart from the World Cup win, Del Bosque has given national team debuts to players such as Gerard Piqué, Jordi Alba, Victor Valdés, Juan Mata, Javi Martínez, Diego Costa, and David De Gea. After Andrés Iniesta's winning goal in 2010 final, he became the oldest coach to win the World Cup. Joachim Löw, Germany, 2014. 2014 was the 8th year of Löw's coaching career, and it was the year his team prevented Lionel Messi from winning the World Cup. The highlight of that year's World Cup was Germany's humbling of hosts Brazil. The 7-1 victory against the South American giants made Germany strong favorites to win the tournament. After defeating Argentina extra time, they did so courtesy of Mario Götze's winner. Löw won the German Football Manager of the Year and FIFA World Coach of the Year in 2014. Didier Deschamps, France, 2018. Didier Deschamps is the most recent coach to win the World Cup trophy, both as a player and coach. Laurent Blanc's resignation after the 2012 Euro paved the way for Deschamps to be hired as coach. The best move in his coaching stint before the World Cup was carefully selecting his 23-man World Cup squad. He wanted players that would give it their all as a single unit, despite his decision to drop Karim Benzema from the team and play Blaise Matuidi, a natural holding midfielder out wide. Deschamps' team ended up winning the trophy and silenced those who questioned his tactics. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any new videos from us. See you again very soon in another new video on the beautiful game.